What's up YouTube? My name is Caden and you're watching Gas It Garage. In today's video, we're going to be taking a quick break from the 670 Yerf Dog project, and I'm going to be working on the 420cc mini bike over here. I'm going to be putting a wheelie bar on it along with a roll bar to protect the carburetor in case I lay this thing down. And I'm also going to be putting new tires on the front and rear. Alright, so I'm going to start by building a detachable wheelie bar off the back of this mini bike, because right now this engine has so much low end torque that even if you just blip the throttle just a little bit, it'll immediately pop the front wheel up. So I can't really get a good launch without wheeling this thing. So I'm going to make a detachable wheelie bar to put on here so that doesn't happen, and so I can take this thing dirt drag racing. And I'm also going to be putting a roll bar on the side here to protect the carburetor in case this thing falls over. And I'm also going to be changing out these tires because this rear one is starting to get pretty bald, and I'm going to be taking this thing off-road quite a bit, and I'm going to need a much more grippy tire on the back. And then the front tire actually still has pretty good tread on it, but the reason I'm replacing it is because at higher speeds, around probably 45 miles per hour or so, it starts to bounce a lot because I think it has a small flat spot in it and it's not perfectly round, and it also has a nail in it. So I'm going to be getting a new tire for the front as well. Alright, so I have these two pieces cut out right here for the, I guess I'm calling this the tip over bar. This one is going to go right here approximately, and then this one is going to go right about there. So I just need to grind the paint off of these because I'm gonna paint them black so they'll match this a little bit better, and then I'll grind the paint off here and here, and then I can weld this thing together. Alright, so I have this all welded up, and I think it looks pretty good. Now, regarding paint, I think I'm just going to hold off on painting this for right now because everything is just so close to it, and I don't want to get a bunch of overspray on the engine and stuff. So I think at a later date, I'm just going to strip this whole bike down and paint everything to get this thing looking a little bit better, because quite honestly, the whole frame definitely needs to be repainted. But I'm going to put the seat back on this right now, and I'm going to test out this tip over bar, and then I can start building the wheelie bar. All right, let's test this tip over bar. So if I lay the bike down, holds itself up. Nice. So that'll hopefully help protect the side of the engine and the carburetor if I lay this thing down. But let's not do that. Right now, I'm going to go cut out some more pieces of tubing for the wheelie bar. All right, so I have the first few pieces cut out here that I'm going to use for the wheelie bar, along with these tabs. The bottom two, I had to cut these little notches in so they could fit right up under here, just like that. So I'm going to weld those in, and then I'm going to bolt these up to measure how long I need the other tubes. And then I'm going to just kind of butt weld those onto the ends of these. So I'm going to set the camera up over here and I'm going to start welding. I've already got the paint ground off, so I can just go ahead and weld these up. Alright, so before I finish building the wheelie bar, I'm actually going to take the rear tire off so I can go ahead and change it out with the new tire here. This is a brand new Sun F tire. It's the extra knobby tread. And this thing is going to give way more grip than that. So I'm going to go ahead and start taking this rear wheel assembly apart so I can get this new tire on here. So I have the tire off of the Minibike, and I've let all the air out of it already, because what I'm about to do here is drive my truck up onto this board to break the bead. And if you don't let all the air out, it'll pop the tire and it could do damage to things. And the weight of the truck will press down on this very, very hard and break the bead, allowing me to remove the tire from the rim. That definitely worked. Alright, I am going to have to go take the sprocket off because the bead on the other side here needs to be broken as well. Alright, so I have the sprocket taken off underneath, and since the sprocket hub juts out a little bit further than the rim, I put this piece of wood underneath it so it won't bend the sprocket hub. So now I'm going to go break this other bead real quick. That is how you break a bead on an old tire. So I'm going to take this down and get some big screwdrivers to get this tire off the rim, and then I'm going to put the new tire on. All right, finally, after 30 minutes of working at this thing, I finally got the tire onto the rim, and I went over to the compressor and got the beads seated real quick. So now that the tire's on, I have to reinstall the sprocket and put the rim and tire back on the Minibike. Okay, so both tires are replaced. I swapped the front one with this bike over here because this tire is still good at lower speeds. So since this bike doesn't go more than like 35 miles an hour, this tire will work pretty well. This tire that was on it, I think it might have a little bit of a uneven spot in it, but it's way better than the other one. So this one should work a lot better. Now I'm going to start work again on the wheelie bar because I finally have the wheel to put on it here along with a bolt. So I'm just going to go cut some pieces of tubing and then weld them on to the ends of these so I can have a functioning wheelie bar. right, we have the wheelie bar all welded together here, and this thing is starting to look like a proper dirt drag bike. This thing is still a little loose. That's just because I have to tighten up the bolts that hold it on, and I also need to put one more reinforcement piece between here and here, just because of the way that mount is. But even though this is kind of cobbled together, it seems pretty solid up and down. We've got the tip over bar on the side there. Got the rear tire replaced, the front tire replaced. I also fixed the headlight. So really all I need to do now is just add that reinforcement piece, tighten up the bolts, and change the oil, and this thing will be ready to go. All right, guys, so the bike is basically done now, and I think I'm gonna hold off on changing the oil until a later date, because right now, since I have the extra brace put in here, I'm gonna go take this thing for a quick test drive. Oh yeah. Looks like everything is holding up pretty well. Now I do notice that this is bent slightly to this side. So I'll need to kind of make some adjustments on that. All right, so the wheelie bar works very well. I'm probably gonna add a brace in there to keep it straight and in line with the rear tire there. But overall, I think this thing looks pretty good and functions very well. But I gotta end this video here, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment, and I will see you in the next one.